I don't even really know where to begin. Today, somebody asked me the question, so what's behind the coffee and the hip hop? Like, we understand that you get it, but for the rest of us, like, what's with the coffee times hip hop? And when I thought about the question that was asked to me, it really made me start reflecting over my life experiences about these two things that I love, coffee and hip hop. These are two things that have made me who I am. These are two things that have really shaped my life. Coffee. I fell in love with coffee after I joined the Marine Corps. When you're on the field and you're always on the go, waking up early, 05, you need something to get you going. And even in that hard lifestyle, one of the things that Marines do is that we make great coffee. Marines roast coffee in the field. Marines roast coffee in the barracks. And we share that coffee with each other. It's a sort of communal thing to come together in the morning over the cup of joe. When I was in Afghanistan, I had a great experience with a good friend of mine. His name is Mike Stedman. And I think one of the first true cups of specialty coffee that I had that I could appreciate, I had it in Afghanistan, a war zone, one of the craziest places that you can, get in touch with your inner self. I remember clear as day, Green Bean Cafe, sitting there with Mike Stedman, just reflecting on combat, the Marines we had lost, the desire to want to go home. That's where my coffee journey really started. When I came back from Afghanistan, I shared my newfound interest in coffee with my wife, Michelle. We started visiting cafes and we were digging in deeper and deeper in coffee. And in 2015, I was transferred from Camp Pendleton, California over to Camp Lejeune, California. Big difference, big change. The communities couldn't be any different. Eastern North Carolina, it was a coffee desert. And I had just grown this deep appreciation for coffee, and so I said, I'm gonna open a coffee shop. And little did I know what opening that coffee shop, opening that cafe, I didn't know what it was gonna do for me. As a kid who grew up in poverty, to open my own business first was a huge step in the right direction in my life, but also it was a huge step up in me being able to have confidence in myself and who I am. So I opened Solar Cafe in Sneedsbury, North Carolina. And it became a bedrock. It was a drive-through, walk up, and we had a small seating area. And you could get to know people. And so I opened the cafe in late 2015, coming into 2016, and it's election season now. And I'm in Sneedsbury, North Carolina. I'm in a 97% all-white community, voted about 90% for Donald Trump. And in that environment, I am one of less than 100 black men in the whole town, and I'm the cafe owner. It was weird to me because when folks saw me as Captain Lloyd, in my uniform, it was easy, like, hey sir, how you doing? But when I took that uniform off and I would be working on my cafe with a hammer in my hand, people would never see me the way I saw myself and who I was there. But over time, this community that I was very different from really came to embrace me and accept me, and it's because of the community that we built around coffee. Folks who I am ideologically opposed to came to me for coffee. Folks who we may be on the opposite sides of the political, the social, the economic aisle. We may have all of our differences, and yet they came to me to enjoy coffee together. And it taught me that coffee builds division, that coffee builds community. And community is the answer to division. And so I learned that early on in my entrepreneurial life that I really need to stick to the things that this industry has taught me. That if you got a great cup of coffee, you can bring anybody together to talk. So that's one of the first things, right? That's one of my first experiences that I have in life in terms of specialty coffee. It was the United States Marine Corps, right? This rough, tough organization that showed me how to connect with something that I love, right? And so I went deeper into that culture. But then the time came for me to leave North Carolina. Donald Trump was elected and the racism just went rampant. And my house was being vandalized, my business was being vandalized. Had a few instances where I had to deal with some folks who weren't too happy seeing a black business owner in their community. I was threatened a lot, had weapons pulled on me, and I just knew it was time to get out of there. So that's coffee. And then hip hop. If you guys know anything about me, I love communicating. One of the things that I always say is that hip hop is the voice of the black community. It is one of the few communications platforms, one of the few art forms where we have enough control to narrate the message that we want to narrate to the world. It's Black voice. I have always wanted to use hip hop to uplift my community. One of the things about hip hop though is that it's global now. Hip hop is bigger than just the black community in America. And so if you're in a hip hop game, if you're talking hip hop, you can touch a lot of people. What does this sound a lot like, right? This sounds a lot like coffee. I said, when I built the coffee shop, the people came to me. When I did hip hop, the people came to me. What I started noticing about myself is that I was attracted to things where people came to me. Because all of this was actually a bigger reflection of who I was than coffee or hip hop. I wanted to build community. I wanted to uplift my culture. I wanted to have a strong voice. I wanted to focus on black economics. I wanted to focus on black ownership, black wealth, those types of things. And for a long time, I kept my personal passions and my business passions separate from each other. That was one of the most difficult times in my life, to have two things that you love, that you're working towards, and to try to do them separately, to try to do them both to your fullest potential and then hide them from each other all at the same time. It's kind of crazy when you even stop to think about it. So I finally said enough hiding. Enough is enough. I'm a black dude. I'm a rapper. I am also a world-class barista. I know everything about these beans. I love to roast them. I like to grind them. I like to drink them. I like to share the drinks that I make with other people. I like to have conversations and build bridges with other people. I like to break barriers. I like to take action and to be aggressive. And when I put these two things together, when I put coffee in one hand and when I put hip hop in the other, and I smash them together, I get something different. I get something new. You guys have heard me talk a lot about my recent album, Spinach. And spinach being a metaphor for a lot of things, but money right now especially, the corrupt way that we see money. I want to show you this. So this is the Ethiopian drip. You guys have probably heard me talking a lot about this so far in 2020. And the Ethiopian drip, this really is my favorite coffee. African coffees are amazing. They have a very robust and bold flavor without being overwhelming and bitter. So this Ethiopian, it's a bean from the Sidamo region of Ethiopia, which is up in the mountains in the highlands. And I wanted to connect back with Africa. And so we designed this packaging. If you can see, we designed this packaging to tell a story. And that story was, if you look at the very foundation of it, is that we live in a country where money, capitalism, underlie a system of oppression and a system of wealth inequality, of socioeconomic disparities. We live in that system. On this packaging, you can see it says corrupt. You see black fist in the air. So we want to be bold, okay? When I think about these African coffees, it connects me back to my culture. It connects me back to the motherland of Africa. It helps me to see that coffee is a black thing. It's not exclusively for black people, but it is a black thing. Why do I say that? Let me unpack that statement for you for a second. One of the things that bothers me the most in America are there's a lot of misinformation around black culture and black people. There are a lot of negative stereotypes that have been built up against us around things as simple as coffee. I was talking to my team earlier today, and one of the things that we discussed was that if coffee originated in Ethiopia, in Africa, and they cultivated this fruit, this cherry, this seed, they roasted it, they developed it, they grew different varieties, they traded it all along the Silk Road, they exported it to different continents. If these African people did all of this, then where does the notion come from in America that black people don't drink coffee? It's a common misconception. As I was jumping into dope coffee, it was the first time that I had started to intentionally say that I want to spread this to more black people, that I want them to reconnect with their culture as well. When I started thinking like that, it really made me go, why are we so separate from things that are a part of our birthright? I'm a history major, and so I think a lot, I dwell a lot on U.S. history, on world history, which ultimately leads us to discussing slavery a lot. And it made me dig deep and think, just from an agricultural standpoint, from a archaeological and an anthropological standpoint, like, where did the disconnect happen? The disconnect happened like so many other things. If it was nice and we did it, it was separated from us. I'm not gonna sit here and bash the people that did that. They got what's coming for them. What I'm here to do is to reclaim what's ours, okay? To reclaim a part of my birthright, to connect with a product from my continent of origin. So I want to get back to this packaging for this Ethiopian drip. When you check out the back of the packaging, okay, I know you guys can see that. This is the thing I'm the most excited about. Put a picture of Harriet. Okay, we put a picture of Harriet on a $20 bill right there, okay? And we put Harriet right here because everything that I said about capitalism and not valuing black people, this 2020 disappointed me, or really it's been since 2016, in the politics that we play with even honoring the contributions of black Americans to this American saga, to this American story. And right now, at a time where Vice President Kamala Harris is the first black vice president, the first female vice president, I kept saying to myself, and we put Harriet on there before the selection, but it's like, we gotta uplift our own. We gotta be able to look at this space and love it. We gotta be able to look at this culture and say it's ours. So that's why I created this Ethiopian drip. It was inspired heavily by the Spinach album. If you guys haven't heard Spinach, I would highly recommend you go listen to it. It's got a lot less to do with me as an artist and more of what I'm trying to communicate to the world. I tend to be a very angry person in real life. I tend to get frustrated. That's why I was a Marine. I like to fight. But when it comes to people and our brothers and sisters and our neighbors, fighting is not the answer. When it comes to our brothers and sisters, and I don't really care what color you are, where you're from, what your customs are, we gotta build bridges to each other. We gotta break stigmas that exist within our society. We have to uplift each other. My thoughts is that through coffee and hip hop, these two platforms, coffee being a drink that can bring the world together, hip hop being an art that can unite individuals around a single idea. If I were to fuse these together, to take Black voice and coffee, these beans here, I love them. I love these beans because they're like magic. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. You can take them, smash them together. At the end of that mindset, where the whole world is rocking with me, enjoying a great cup of coffee with me, and then being able to have the conversation that says, maybe we should uplift Black culture a little bit. Maybe we should value the Black woman a little bit. Maybe we should reconnect with our roots, our ancestral heritage a little bit. That's why I do coffee and hip hop. It's why I'm so passionate about this new product, this Ethiopian drip. It's not about me being a rapper. It's not about me trying to sell you coffee. It's a movement. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. I've dedicated my life to making my community a better place. Coffee Times Hip Hop is the platform that I want to do that from. It's the platform that I want to fuse together to uplift my people. Like I said, I grew up as a son of poverty. Through Black business, through Black enterprise, through great products, through great customer service, through connecting with people like you, to building a communal family, a global family. I believe that I can use these two entities to create legit change that we can believe in. So that is my story. It is why I'm so passionate about what I do. A lot of you all have seen me as Creative Mike the Rapper, or you've seen me as the CEO of Dope Coffee. I'm asking that you just get rid of all of that and see me as Mike, the guy who just wants to make a difference in the world. Okay, that's it. I love you all, and thank you. You made it this far for watching. Go stream Spinach. Check out the Ethiopian drip, and please connect with the Dope Coffee team. Connect with the Dope Coffee music family. We're a movement. It's a culture. It's a lifestyle.